And I was like, $340?
A county road turned cash machine.
In my mind, like, this has got to be a typo.
Speed cameras are built for safety,
I think it's definitely a speed trap, and it's a moneymaker.
with laws meant to stop towns from cashing in.
This is not meant to be a revenue generator for the local government.
But do those laws work?
Does not issuing a warning feel like a warning?
I can't comment to that directly because the statute's open for interpretation.
Steve on your side spent 6 months digging in,
So what's the talk of the town lately?
Oh, the radar on 49.
going to town meeting
Are we creating another speed trap?
after town meeting.
Where we're at in this world today with media coverage, the media did an awesome job educating people on what was legal.
Running into closed doors and stifled discussion.
The government's job is not to decide what is true and what is not true.
We investigated reports of hefty fines.
I can't afford this right now.
How many did you get?
Like 14.
14!
Missed warnings.
If you're not giving someone a warning, how is it a warning?
And outside businesses cashing in on drivers' mistakes.
With a strong public safety solution, you're going to generate revenue.
An investigation that returned millions of dollars to drivers.
We are going to refund tickets.
We are forgiving all Avis tickets issued to date.
And strengthened the law.
I saw the news story. Steve is on your side.
All in an effort to find out if these cameras are truly for safety.
Look at my driving record. I don't speed.
Or simply a way to serve and collect. Welcome to Weld County Road 49, a 20-mile stretch connecting I-76 to State Highway 34. Out here, they call it the road that oil built because so much of the funding for it came from taxes on oil and gas operations. But we found a new moneymaker generating millions of dollars for the towns that dot the road oil built. I'm 9 News consumer investigator Steve Staeger. I've spent the last 6 months investigating these strange trailers popping up on the side of the road. Our investigation found towns making big bucks while misreading and finding loopholes in state law. It ended with those towns voiding or refunding more than $2 million in tickets and lawmakers changing state law. It started with a single tip from a driver whose ticket didn't add up.
Why'd you reach out to me?
This needs to be brought to people's attention because this is crazy.
It's not very often you open a piece of mail that surprises you.
And I was like, $340? And I was shocked.
Tracy Miller couldn't believe that number on a speeding ticket from the town of Kersey.
I mean, I've seen the sign, and I'm not even aware exactly of this picture being taken.
It's hard to miss the sign a friendly neighbor put on the side of the road, warning of a speed trap 4 miles ahead. A bit easier to miss the small construction sign warning of photo radar ahead. But sure enough, that camera clocked Tracy at 74 miles per hour in a 45 mile an hour zone.
I was coming out of a 65 and I was going 74.
29 over is pretty fast, but easy to understand when you look at where that camera is placed. On this stretch of northbound County Road 49, the speed limit reduces from 65 to 45 in less than a quarter of a mile. The camera sits not far from that 45 sign.
I was just, in my mind, like, this has got to be a typo.
Ashley Mrazek now knows that area very well.
I drive every day on the road, taking Lazarus to school and picking him up from school.
She lives right up 49 from the camera, and by the time we talked to her, her tickets were stacking up.
You think you're good, and then all of a sudden 5 of them come in the mail. I have 2 that are due today at $340. That's $680, and my paycheck is only going to be $587 on Friday. It's hard right now being a single mom, and with SNAP benefits not being available right now, that money has also been going towards providing my son with food. I can't afford this right now.
So why is it so expensive? Why $340?
I literally looked up the statute that says the maximum is $40. So I did write to them and say, can you explain to me where you came up with the extra $300?
Tracy never got a response back, but Tracy was right. A recent change in Colorado state law allows municipalities to use photo radar to issue tickets, but the law sets limits on what municipalities can charge for those tickets. $40 in a normal stretch of road or $80 in a school or construction zone. This spot isn't a school or construction zone.
I think it's definitely a speed trap, and it's a moneymaker for the town of Kersey.
It certainly was a moneymaker. When Steve on Your Side first looked into Tracy's ticket, we learned Kersey had already made more than $316,000 in $340 tickets alone, all in a matter of 7 months. Even though the town's own ordinance regulating speed cameras sets a much smaller cap on how much police are supposed to charge. That $40 cap is literally written into their ordinance.
The council has said no. The most you can do is $40 to $80.
Criminal defense attorney Jeremy Lowe says rules in Kersey are pretty clearly laid out.
There's nothing illegal about speed traps. Once you hit that 45 mile per hour zone, you need to be going at that speed limit. And if you don't, the tickets themselves are allowed. What isn't allowed is the amount of money that they are charging.
So Steve on Your Side asked the police chief, who sent us a statement at the time, saying the town ups the charge to $340 if drivers are found going 25 or more over the speed limit. The chief claims a carve-out in state law allows this, specifically this section that says nothing in this section applies to a violation detected by an automated vehicle identification system for driving 25 miles per hour or more in excess of the reasonable and prudent speed.
Certainly don't believe the bill allows for anything over the caps explicitly already in law.
Democratic State Representative Meg Froelich helped write that law and said what Kersey was doing was not necessarily the intent of that carve-out.
This is not meant to be a revenue generator for the local government. This is supposed to be a safety component, a tool in the toolkit to get folks to slow down.
Does the chief have protection here if he's able to say, yes, this may not be what my town ordinance says, but the state law that oversees this program and these types of cameras says I can do that?
He does not. He works for this town. He needs to follow this town's rules.
What do you want people to know if they get a ticket going through here?
Challenge it or contact Steve and say, hey, is this legal?
Word of our story questioning whether Kersey had the authority to write $340 tickets got around town.
What's the talk of the town lately?
Oh, the radar on 49.
Where even the local coffee shop owner weighed in.
We have no hard feelings towards our law enforcement, no hard feelings that something needs to be done. But the way it's gone about, there's an evident issue and everybody's feeling it.
The chatter much louder down the street at Town Hall.
My comments mostly around safety.
Please make sure the traffic and safety of our town.
I cannot imagine all the other traffic.
Having lost my husband in an auto accident.
Listening closely to the people there, it's clear Kersey has a speeding problem.
We're doing everything we can to keep people safe.
Logging 129 crashes in 5 years alone along this stretch of Weld County Road 49, where the county road meets State Highway 34, the spot where Kersey decided to drop the camera. We spotted a crash at that intersection 30 minutes before this meeting started.
Call this meeting to order.
Kersey's town board had on its agenda that night a new item discussing our reporting.
I deserved my ticket. I don't dispute that. I did dispute the $340.
And whether or not their solution to slow things down was legal.
I'm going to have Stacy read the press release.
The town of Kersey recognizes the ambiguity present in subsection 1.5.
That night, the town board met with their attorney behind closed doors for an hour and 15 minutes.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience.
Then they decided to act.
After our discussion, we have considered pausing
those $340 tickets temporarily.
We are going to pause that.
But the confusion was far from over. Well, I'm on my way to Kersey right now because about 15 to 20 minutes ago, we realized that the town board is having a special meeting tonight to talk about photo radar. Anna Hewson's driving, our producer. She's the one who spotted this. In fact, it all picked up again 2 weeks later. And Anna stumbled on their agendas page and found this special meeting planned for the town board tonight at 6 o'clock. It felt like deja vu, but instead of a packed town hall, this time, 9 news employees outnumbered citizens in the audience, literally 2 to 1.
All right, next we're going to go into an executive session for a conference with the town attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on a specific legal question.
Hour-long closed-door meeting, more legal advice. This time when they let us back into the room, the town attorney said this.
I've put together an ordinance that clarifies our prior ordinance from last spring.
An ordinance making changes to the town's speed camera law. but he didn't mention what changes. Then, without any discussion, any mention of what that ordinance changed,
I move that we approve.
they voted.
Armenta?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
After the vote, the town manager handed me and the other citizen in the audience a copy of the new law, and we learned what it did. The new ordinance makes a change. It says that the town's photo radar ordinance won't apply to violations over 25 miles an hour over the speed limit. Does that mean they can issue $340 tickets? Just when you think a story is done, it keeps on going. So we'll keep trying to get some answers. With questions lingering about the $340 tickets, Kersey's police chief seemed adamant to defend their ticketing process.
What the police departments and town decided to do is to utilize our adopted fines and fee structure.
In a hearing on another $340 ticket days later, he argued that since state law exempts photo radar infractions clocked at 25 miles per hour or above, the town could essentially charge what they wanted.
They've cobbled together various pieces of code and statute, and they've said, this is how we're doing it.
Civil rights attorney Omidas Muda says you can't choose your own adventure when you issue someone a fine.
It is a basic principle that if the government is going to punish somebody, what's unlawful, the conduct that's unlawful, needs to be written down.
He also said anyone with one of those big tickets should continue to fight.
You're very popular right now.
Like Denny did in this hearing.
I don't believe the town's ordinance allowed for a fee of more than $40. That's my only argument.
And the hearing officer agreed.
My position with respect to this, the code language and the statute, is that the city is limited to a $40 maximum fine.
We all pretty much come to the same conclusion. Kersey has really stepped in it this time. We're in deep doo-doo.
As the chief defended the law, he and town leaders faced mounting pressure.
Whoever made up that $340 law needs to go.
And more questions.
Have you thought about what it would have been like if we just issued warnings for 30 days?
Kersey Police Chief Jonathan Lang was quick to insist there was a warning.
So when the ordinance was adopted on March 11 of 2025, that's when our warning period started.
There has to be, according to state law, for the first 30 days after the system is installed or deployed, only warnings may be issued.
The point was that you then make people aware so that they slow down because it's supposed to be about safety.
Hazel Gibson helped write that state law.
We're also making sure that this isn't about revenue. So the first offense is only a warning.
As chief of staff for the late state senator, Faith Winter.
This bill started in her office.
She says the whole thought process behind a warning period was quite simply to warn people.
It's not supposed to be a gotcha.
Steve Staeger, 500 Spear Boulevard. It's what brought me to the podium at the next meeting. I'm here because I have a question I've been trying to ask the chief in an on-camera interview, but he couldn't fit us in.
In that 30-day warning period, were any warnings physically issued to drivers?
Yeah, it's a good question. Just like other jurisdictions that I won't name, the way that the statute's being interpreted is that physical or mailed out warnings do not have to be issued to the person.
He says the 71 drivers they clocked above the speed limit during Kersey's 2-month warning period were never told they broke the law.
Does not issuing a warning feel like a warning?
I can't comment to that directly because the statute's open for interpretation.
But if you're not giving someone a warning, how is it a warning? I just don't understand that. Like a warning is, hey, you've done this thing. You're not supposed to be doing it. Don't do it again. That's a warning.
Yet Chief Lang pointed to the language of the law, which says only warnings may be issued.
It's the way that law enforcement agencies are interpreting the statute.
And insisted Kersey wasn't alone.
I would recommend reaching out to the individual departments.
So we did, and found a lot of towns and cities that had been issuing warnings during their warning period. Wheat Ridge and Mountain View even sent us copies of some of the warnings they sent out. But we did find 4 more governments not sending warnings during their warning period. Hudson and Fairplay didn't. Walsenburg and Eaton told us they didn't plan to either when their cameras went live. All said that they let the public know the system was coming, all posting on their website, some through social media, and Walsenburg even posting something on the front door at the city building.
Why would we write that in there if you didn't have to do anything? Why would we waste the pen and the time?
Kersey didn't even have their current fixed system in place during their warning period. Instead, relying on an officer with a radar gun who wasn't there 24 hours a day. As soon as the permanent system went into place in September, it issued about 1,200 tickets a day on average. during the first 30 days of operation.
Your grace period should be when it was first put there permanently. All those citations, all those warnings should be null and void.
The tough talk for the town wasn't just coming from the podium. On Kersey's Facebook page, you could find just about any opinion on that camera. For it, against it, 6-7.
We're going to outline what is down the road in front of us.
This video of the chief demonstrating how to slow down got more than 300 comments, the most on any post in recent months. Then came this post, a reminder about Kersey's social media policy. It said the town would hide or delete comments that were inappropriate, crude, hostile, or misleading, and that anyone with 3 strikes would be blocked.
Deciding what's offensive is not content neutral. Deciding what's hostile is not content neutral. Deciding what is misleading is not content neutral.
That's David Lane. He's a civil rights attorney. He had the same question I did. In fact, I posted a comment on Kersey's post asking how this policy complies with the First Amendment and who gets to choose what's misleading or inappropriate. I didn't hear back that day, but a few hours later, the post was changed. The policy, too. Misleading and inappropriate replaced with violent, threatening, and hostile.
A town has the ability to control any social media website that they own to a very limited degree, as long as whatever rules they have are completely content neutral.
In other words, ban swear words, ban violent talk, but you can't ban comments based on their content.
That's the marketplace of ideas. It's an old doctrine. Presumably the public is smart enough to pick good ideas from the marketplace of ideas.
He's getting $45,000, all because the town deleted his comments from social media. I'm Steve, I'm a consumer reporter in Denver, and I've been covering the town of Kersey and their relatively controversial photo radar system. Part of my months-long investigation looked at how people were responding to that system on Facebook, and a guy named Jared Morgan. Jared says that he went onto Kersey's Facebook page and posted some criticism about the chief of police there, and he says his comments were deleted and he was blocked from Kersey's Facebook page. And shortly after all this happened, Kersey posted a list of rules about what kind of speech wasn't allowed on their Facebook page. There's a bit of a problem with this. It's the First Amendment. The First Amendment says that government can't censor anyone's personal speech. It doesn't stop a government body from making policies about public comment, right? They can say, we're not going to allow any profanity, or we're not going to allow any threats to violence. But all of those rules are required to be content neutral, meaning you can't delete something because you don't like what it says. Morgan sued the town of Kersey and just settled with them for $45,000. Part of his settlement will also require changes to Kersey's social media policy and training for Kersey's social media employees. In case you're a resident of Kersey and you're wondering, all of that money is going to come from Kersey's insurance policy, so it won't impact the town's budget. 3 months in, Kersey citizens were still fed up.
It is sad Kersey is just making rules up as it goes along, not doing their job until 9 News actually steps in.
And it was time for the town board to make a decision.
All right, I'm going to read this. It's pretty long, but bear with me.
It took the town's mayor 17 minutes to read aloud the ordinance.
Whereas the town of Kersey
that would reinstate the $340 tickets.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
And a matter of seconds for someone in the audience to literally tear it apart.
You came up with this cockamamie law that's so long and crazy. I'm embarrassed to have it on. This thing is so stupid.
Everybody is looking for you to do the right thing in this town, and I am one of them.
But at the end of 3 months of swirling controversy in a small town, the board did something unexpected.
I don't agree with the way things are going right now.
Seems like it's taken away from people violating the speed limit and turned it into us, which, yes, it was us, but we thought it was fair.
We are just trying to do the best that we can, and maybe we misstepped.
They unanimously rejected it.
You've got that money still.
And made a stunning about face.
We are going to refund tickets of $340.
Every single one. Our math shows they voided $1.1 million in tickets that night, agreeing to refund more than $500,000 to people who'd already paid.
I would rather, get started sooner rather than later.
Kersey is now officially giving refunds for the tickets we told you about that violated their own law. You can go on the town's website now, click the link for photo radar refunds at the bottom of the page. This is for anybody who got a ticket between May of 2025 and November of 2025 when they were issuing these $340 citations, which our reporting proved violated their own law, which capped the fines for photo radar at $40. The form's pretty simple. It's a Google form. You go in there, put your name in, you put your information in. They'll take your citation number or your license plate number, because you probably don't remember your citation number. Our math says it's about 1,700 people who have paid these tickets so far who are owed a refund. And if the town were to refund all that money, they'd be paying out more than $500,000, about $586,000 at our last count. So go to the Town of Kersey's website, click the link at the bottom right-hand side of the page. It'll take you to a form, fill out all your information. They say it should take about 30 to 60 days to get the refund. Let me know if you're having any problem with it, because it seems like something we should report on. Kersey is among a growing list of communities that got a pitch like this.
My job is to try to explain what is automated speed enforcement.
It's happening in town halls across the state.
I'm going to be in Cortez Wednesday, Kit Carson tomorrow.
A pitch that's hard to pass up.
I'm not here to sell you anything. My services are at no cost to your municipality.
Emergent Enforcement Solutions says photo radar is a win-win.
With a strong public safety solution, you're going to generate revenue.
Money in the bank, safer roads.
We reduce speeding anywhere between 50 to 70%.
Kills two birds with one stone. Yeah, collect a little bit of money and then slow traffic down.
But we found it's not just a little bit of money. In Kersey, its $40 photo radar tickets added up to nearly $1 million collected in just 7 months.
The vendor claims we pay for time to process the tickets, yet data shows a consistent cost of $14 a ticket.
Thanks to that, nearly 2/3 of that money found its way out of Kersey and into the bank account of Emergent Enforcement Solutions, or EES.
I didn't want it to be revenue enhancing where businesses or these companies were coming to Colorado saying, hey, we can make X amount of dollars if we do this.
Businesses making big bucks on photo radar was one of the things Republican State Senator Byron Pelton wanted to avoid when he helped with the law years ago.
We really forced their hand to say, you can't make X amount of revenue from the ticket.
The law is clear. The compensation paid may not be based upon the number of traffic citations issued. In other words, towns can't pay their vendors a cut of each ticket they write.
I worked on lots of language to make sure we had guardrails that were supposed to be used as safety tools, that's what they were being used as, and not revenue enhancing cameras.
How are those guardrails holding up?
Not well.
Steve on your side found these photo radar companies are following the law, but have found creative ways to keep cashing in.
You have to charge an hourly rate because we can't charge a per fee per citation.
Instead of taking a cut per ticket, EES charges an hourly rate. The more tickets Kersey and their customers write, the more hours the company works, and thus the more money the company makes.
How we calculate the hours rendered is based on the citations issued. So that's the way for me to explain it to you. It's always going to be at $14 per citation.
And we found not even the laws of time seem to apply. Take EES's October invoice for Kersey, a month with just 744 hours. The company billed the town for more than 1,200 hours of work.
Were they charging overtime? Because my goodness, that's a lot of hours.
Another business that works with Wheat Ridge doesn't charge by the hour, but by the number of times it looks up vehicle registrations. $15 every time. Its cameras led to nearly $500,000 in fines, most of which went to their vendor. Wheat Ridge only kept about $75,000. The win-win deals with vendors led Hewson and Mountain View to hand over a majority of their revenue too. Pelton said our findings showed his guardrails need some reinforcement.
That's the loophole that we're going to have to figure out how we close moving forward.
As the work started to close those loopholes, trouble started to brew down the road from Kersey, 20 miles south along County Road 49 in the town of Hewson.
I just got it in the mail now telling me that I was speeding here. And I can't even tell you where that's at.
When Bonnie opened her mail and found a $40 ticket, she couldn't believe it.
WTF? We don't speed. I always use my cruise control because I am so afraid of these cameras. So I don't usually ever speed.
And she couldn't figure out where she was supposedly speeding.
There was no cameras out there. I couldn't find any camera taking pictures.
It was just like big and bulky, like right in front of like the 55 sign.
Jamie Von Felt did see it, but only realized what it was weeks later.
The tickets just like came one day and like my mom was mad at me.
How many did you get?
Like 14.
14? My gosh, are you a speed demon?
No, my car literally like is on its last leg, so I drive it like an old grandma.
Hudson has had a speed camera in this area for over a year on the southbound side. All of these tickets said that they were for the northbound side, where there is no camera, or at least it wasn't when we looked.
So I called the number that they gave me and I asked them. And they said, oh, we took that camera down.
Hudson's police chief told Steve on Your Side the town placed a camera trailer along the northbound side of the road for about 3 weeks before taking it out and planning to put a permanent camera further south. We found it a week later when Google Street View posted a new image. And we also found that that camera was pretty profitable. At least that's what the chief told council at a meeting we got our hands on.
The northbound camera right now that we just installed 3 weeks ago is like 1,000 a day.
1,000 tickets a day is a lot when you consider how many cars drive that stretch daily.
About 5,500 cars a day that travel that road. And so 1/5 of those drivers are getting tickets right now.
Based on our measurements, that camera was about a football field away from this 55-mile-per-hour sign, but it was sitting in a 40-mile-per-hour zone. The only notice you get about it being 40 miles per hour is a sign about 1/3 of a mile back.
Our bill up to now, just since it's been installed, is over $200.
A lot of people who drive that stretch daily said they had no idea that camera was there.
So far, we have in our household accrued $240 in tickets. This is like with me being really careful.
And they should have.
There's supposed to be a 30-day warning period where warnings are issued to drivers rather than tickets. We didn't receive any of those.
She's right. State law requires a warning period for new camera systems and public notice for each new system on the town's website. The chief didn't answer our question about warnings or notice this time.
Can you provide specific dates of when that 30-day warning period started before that trailer started issuing tickets?
But he answered a councilman.
Well, that 30-day warning period started in 24 when we started that safety corridor.
You heard that right. 2024, a year and a half before that trailer parked on the northbound side of the road. Chief says the town considers the warning period for the camera placed on the other side in 2024 to be the warning for this new camera in 2026. Defense attorney Jeremy Lowe says that's not exactly what the law says.
It says with every new system, there needs to be a new warning period. This is not the same camera system. This isn't even in the same location.
He suggested anyone who got a ticket should fight it and argue you should have gotten a warning.
And the camera was only up for 3 weeks, right? And so none of the tickets should be anything but warnings at this point.
The amount of tickets too. That's huge.
And it appeared our questions about Hudson's camera were making it to town council.
We wouldn't have Channel 9 News out there if it was nothing. There's a problem and we need to get to it. And if it was our fault or whatever, we need to review it and see what was going on.
While we waited for the council to review those tickets, we kept asking to see the totals written by that northbound camera. The town initially told us they didn't have any records about tickets written by that camera. Then they told us to speak to the police department. The police department said they were working on it. Then the police chief sent me back to the city. In the meantime, I posted on the Hudson Community Facebook group asking people to send me copies of their tickets. Within about an hour, we had 50 tickets in our inbox dating from February 27th to April 8th. A lot more than the 3 weeks the police chief told us. After Steve on Your Side reminded Hudson about the state law that says a town shall publish a report on its website disclosing the number of citations and revenue generated by the cameras, they released the data to us, showing 31,000 tickets issued in a matter of weeks from that northbound camera, totaling more than $1 million.
News we've all been waiting for.
Days later, after 50 minutes behind closed doors seeking legal advice, Hudson's mayor and town council delivered a bit of a bombshell, a happy bombshell.
We are forgiving all Avis tickets issued to date
of the northbound Weld County Road cameras.
The town council then voted to void and refund all tickets, all 31,000 plus tickets from that temporary camera on northbound Weld County Road 49. Again, 31,000 tickets written in the span of 42 days.
The cabin placement was inadequate based on the traffic departing from Pilot headed northbound of Weld County 49.
The move meant Hewson would void more than $1.2 million in speed camera tickets, refunding 2/3 to drivers who'd already paid.
We are going to refund tickets.
Add that to Kersey, it was nearly $2.5 million in voided tickets since Steve on Your Side started reporting.
Where we're at in this world today with media coverage, the media, I thought, did an awesome job educating people on what was legal and what your rights were.
6 months of reporting.
And I was like, $340?
Didn't just void a whole bunch of tickets.
We are going to refund tickets.
We are forgiving all Avis tickets.
It also changed the law. While we were in small town board chambers, state lawmakers were busy in Denver.
So we're bringing you today Senate Bill 152.
Debating how to close the loopholes we found.
It also improves transparency and predictability, requiring clear signage, public notice, and warning periods before it begins.
I saw the news story, Steve is on your side, so I'm well aware of it.
As right now, the perception is that these are revenue enhancing cameras for local governments. That was never the intent.
State Senator Byron Pelton represents Kersey and Hewson and saw our work.
We're going to clamp down on the loopholes.
The Republican teamed up with a Denver Democrat, Matt Ball, to change the state law.
I want us to find something that works, but something that municipalities and counties use because they actually want to control the speed, not because they're trying to raise revenue.
Their legislation first sets a total fine for 25 over or more. $120, rather than the free-for-all that allowed Kersey to charge $340.
And saying, hey, you went really fast through here, you should get a penalty for this, but we're not trying to make it a criminal charge by being handed out by a machine.
The new law also requires that you actually get a warning during a warning period.
In that 30-day warning period, were any warnings physically issued to drivers?
The way that the statute's being interpreted is that physical or mailed out warnings do not have to be issued to the person.
Turning that may that allowed Kersey and Hewson not to mail warnings into a shall.
I mean, the whole point behind a warning, right, is like the person knows that they broke the law, and if they do it again, there's going to be consequences.
And finally, vendors. Remember how the law said they couldn't get paid by the ticket?
How we calculate the hours rendered is based on the citations issued.
But we found vendors got creative with hourly rates.
Best way for me to explain it to you is always going to be at $14 per citation.
The new law specifically bans any incentives, bonus escalators, or other provisions that are directly tied to the number of citations issued.
Requiring these contracts to have just a flat fee is very important because then you get around this issue of, out-of-state companies from Louisiana coming in and just, making bank off of charging per ticket.
Senate Bill 152.
Bill passed both chambers with ease. The governor signing it days after Hewson voided those tickets. Whether it stops the problem we've reported on remains to be seen. It's clearly not the end of this story along a profitable road in Weld County. Because once that controversial camera disappeared in Hewson, we found it again, 20 miles up the road in Kersey, ready to write more tickets to serve and collect. Perhaps the biggest lesson in all of this is the power of showing up. In all of these communities and a lot of their town meetings, they hadn't had a reporter in the gallery for years. People in Kersey and Hewson felt like their voices weren't being heard until we started asking their questions and digging for answers. Local journalism literally changed the law. It put money back in people's pockets. It held powerful people to account, a commitment we will continue until the very end of this story. Until then, I'm 9 News consumer investigator Steve Staeger. Thanks for watching.
Think safety.